has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the top free agent hitter on the market, signed a 4-year, $240 million contract worth an average annual value of $60 million a year. Imagine what you can find on eBay. Like a rare hologram trading card that you become totally obsessed with, shiny like the designer handbag of your dreams. eBay has it. They even have the perfect parts that will fit your car. Millions of finds, each with a story. Find it at eBay.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Sound off like you got a pair.
Professional football in America is a special game, a unique game.
It's divisional round weekend in the NFL. Rams versus Bears.
I think the way that our guys play, I think it suits us well in any sort of conditions, and that's kind of what we've always said.
Bills versus Broncos. 49ers versus Seahawks.
They played us real well, beat us, but I know we can play better than that, so I'm glad we got another shot.
Texans versus Patriots. Who will be the NFL's Final Four? Is it even legal to say that? The Aztecs are back on the Mesa tomorrow night versus New Mexico, and MLB signings are heating up. What's AJ gonna do to keep pace? From the San Diego Sports 760 studios, we go into the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Friday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer going to take over then. How about yesterday, the John Schaefer show, joined by Annie Heilbrunn? I thought she was fantastic.
She is fantastic.
Annie was one of the nicest first people I met when I moved to San Diego, and she's the best, man. That was fun listening to her and John catch up yesterday, and it was fun getting to see Annie as well. All right, it's NFL divisional weekend, baby. We are here, so I have one question and one question only. Sammy Long, are you ready to have an excellent show?
I am ready. We might have
a great show.
Some surprising guests stopping by potentially. We have a full slate of games. What was that?
They're drunk. I promise you that.
I was just speaking to a certain pair of people, and they weren't making a ton of sense. So it's going to be interesting to see how they might sound on the radio in 10 minutes. But we got a big show lined up for everyone. Very excited to get into the NFL divisional weekend.
It's going to be a good one. So coming up on the show today, we got a pair of tickets for MGK and Wiz Khalifa, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater on May 17th. If you would like to win a pair of those tickets, you just got to keep listening. It's Friday, so you never know what's going to happen in this office. I would imagine there's going to be a couple of mezcal smelling stinky boys who are coming in the studio very, very soon here. And of course, Steve Hartman is going to stop by for his weekly Friday segment. Last week, I will say, Steve almost nailed the entire parlay for the NFL wildcard round. He missed by 2 games. He picked the Steelers to beat the Texans, and he picked he picked the Packers to beat the Bears. So he did not get either of those right. And now we've been infiltrated. So it's a bar card Friday. San Diego Sports 760. Big Rich Ornberger, Travis Dick Dale joining us here over on San Diego Sports 760. Boys, we had some fun this morning.
Yeah, we certainly did. We were joined by Mezcal Animas.
I think you said that backwards. I think it's Animas Mezcal.
One or the other. It was delicious.
You gotta
stuff.
turn up, TD, Sammy.
I got all the mics up right now.
Delicious, and we had easily one of the most delicious Palomas y Margaritas that we've ever had in our life.
They were pretty tasty, man. So I curious why you guys are here. Like, I don't know if that's a mean way to say that. You're more than welcome to be here.
Rich Ornberger kidnapped me and said, you have to try some of this mezcal. And I said, boys, would you like to come on the show? And they're like, well, of course we'd like to come on the show. Mm-hmm. So therefore, we have special guests joining us.
Well, you guys are more than welcome. And now Rich is bogarting the camera as well.
What is this device that's over here, this round device? Have you ever seen one of those, Fletch?
Are you talking about the basketball?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That is a signed basketball from one Brian Dutcher, the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs over the last 9 seasons.
I just didn't know if you've ever seen one.
That ball will actually be given away tomorrow night during the pregame show. Go up and say hi to Sammy. There's going to be a QR code at the table.
Come say hi.
And you can win that basketball signed by Brian Dutcher. Pretty stinking cool. All right, Travis, why are the Broncos going to lose tomorrow?
Whoa. Pump the brakes, pal. Are you trying to talk bad about Bo Nix? Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Travis, seriously, what is your confidence level in Bo Nix? Do you believe in Bo Nix, or you think this late game luck is really going to run out?
I think it already ran out, to be quite honest with you. My confidence level is not high, if we're being totally honest. However, I have to believe, if you know what I'm saying. I am a Bronco fan. I've been a Bronco fan for a long time. It didn't feel like this season was supposed to happen, if we're also being quite honest. So being a number 1 seed seems very improbable. However, I'm very happy with it, although I'm not happy with having to play the Bills as a Bronco fan. No, it's not a good draw.
Maybe
However,
the worst draw. Sammy, do you know, Travis Dale, what was the last jersey you purchased in the NFL?
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock jersey, who might be starting for the Seattle Seahawks.
That is historic memorabilia.
Yeah.
You could sell that thing.
Dude, I will wear that with pride. I still love Drew Lock. So I'm telling you, as a 49er fan, Fletch, you better hope that Sam Darnold doesn't go down because you don't want to see Drew Lock on the field.
It's going to be a problem.
He will eat you up.
But yeah, seriously, I think the Broncos had a lot of fun this year. The fourth quarters were amazing for the Denver Broncos. Unfortunately, you're kind of running into Superman this weekend.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. This is where the Bills fall apart. This is where the Bills fall apart.
Rich, how are we feeling? So your 2 former teams matched up last week, Patriots and Chargers. How are you feeling about your Patriots?
Your camera work is amazing here, Rich. If you're watching at San Diego Sports 760,
by the way,
or at Fletch and Sammy on X, Rich is the cameraman today.
Animas Mezcal.
It's going muy bueno. Listen, I think the Pats are going to run into some trouble here because D'Amico Ryans has a defense of just war daddies. I mean, if you look at Daniil Hunter, if you look at Will Anderson Jr., these guys are huge problems, and they take the cake. But the problem is they've got good linebackers. They got a good secondary. I was just watching this whole TikTok clip about one of their nickel corners, and he's unbelievable. It's going to be I'm distracted because TD is literally tearing up a tissue box because I think he's going to say there's going to be no tears for the Patriots when they do lose to the Houston Texans. I could see Houston, honestly, hosting the AFC Championship game, and that's something I would have never said earlier in the season.
They have to go to Denver.
913 is commenting, Travis, you sound a little smashed. Travis, would you like to respond to that question?
Oh, Animas Mezcal, available at Keg and Bottle, 10 locations all throughout San Diego County.
Keg, the letter N, bottle.com. Go see our friend Tony Kanja.
Right.
It is, so just a little behind the curtain here. Yesterday was one of the most chaotic shows Sammy and I have ever had. It started off funny because Sammy said shalom skiing instead of slalom skiing.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was. Hand on a Bible.
And then, like, as the show went on, the fire alarm starts going off mid-show. We had Brian Wilson, one of our sales guys, kind of saying, hey, you're going to have this guest at this time. And then all of a sudden, Hayes is called into the show. So it was just kind of a crazy day in general. And I kind of missed it because it felt like good old times back here in the San Diego Sports 760 studios.
Did somebody get a haircut? Why do you have a barber chair in here?
I have no idea, TD. I have no idea.
Where did that come from?
You want a haircut? We can. Sammy's got some clippers.
I
back
do
there.
need to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think I trust Sammy more than most people to cut hair.
You trust me to cut hair? I don't really cut my hair. I let it grow out.
Well, look at you. You're feathered, though. Your hair is layered. It's gorgeous.
What do you put in your hair? What kind of product?
I put a little hairspray, a little mousse. You got to have some body. You don't want to wash your hair every single day.
No, that's why I try to tell these guys. You don't even need to shower every day.
I wash my hair sometimes twice a day.
All right, let's get to some YouTube comments before we get to the big three. Sammy, we got Jay Silves on YouTube saying, oh, snap, Fletch broke out the flamingo shirt. It's going to be a good weekend. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, SD Tyler giving us some cheers. Jay Silves also saying, radio, we're just built different. I feel like that's a nice little slug line for Big Rich TD and Fletch.
Yeah.
I don't know,
we're
maybe
built
not.
different.
All right, we're going to do a special. You guys mind sticking around for the big three here?
Yeah, you just damn right. We want to stick around for the big three.
The top headlines in the world of sports. We all get to
Are you talking inches?
Dodgers. Yeah. Yep. All three of them, TD.
Yep.
Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
That's all we got.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
And we're back. All right, MGK tickets coming up within the next 20 minutes or so. Sammy, where do you want to start with the big three?
All right, since we're doing NFL the rest of the show, we are off Monday. We're going to start with the national championship game. What is a better storyline? Kurt Cignetti turning around one of the losingest programs in college football history at Indiana, winning a championship, or the U being back for Miami and Carson Beck winning a title? Where are you going on this?
Oh, man. Can I answer
Rich,
first?
you go ahead.
Okay. Mario Cristobal. I don't trust Miami. I just don't. I think late in the game, Cignetti, like Google him, he just wins. What he's done with the Indiana Hoosiers, who was when you saw them on your schedule, and I played in the Big Ten at Penn State, it was a win. It was a win my entire time at Penn State, and all of a sudden what he's done with that team, and obviously with the help of NIL, he has turned the program around. Mario Cristobal, by way of Oregon, you remember when he was there paired with Justin Herbert, it wasn't great. He got the Miami job kind of by the grace of God. You know, they had a timely coach exit, firing, and then he got let loose by Oregon, and he was able to get the gig with the Hurricanes. And I'm not throwing shade. That is an amazing defense. They have an incredible pass rush. But the problem for Mario Cristobal, late game decision making, not good.
I don't need a Mario Cristobal to tell you that Miami Housewives was one of the best ones. And I'm going Miami. I'm all in on this.
It's a great pick, TD.
Yeah.
They do have one of the best defensive lines in college football history. It feels like they've been dominant all year.
Housewives?
Here's what I'll say. It's too bad Gene Hackman passed away last year because, man, Hoosiers 2 would have been slapping if he got to play Kurt Cignetti, who I'm pretty sure might be a serial killer. That dude has craziness in his eyes. Yeah. But I do think the Hoosiers turnaround, being the most dominant team all year, Mendoza being the number 1 overall pick, that's the better storyline. Yes, TD, you have your hand raised.
Did you say the word slapping in normal vernacular?
Shalom, TD.
Shalom.
That's all I have to say about that.
I actually am going to go with the U. Listen. Indiana being back or for the first time is a great story. It's amazing what they've been able to accomplish, especially, Rich, to your point, in a Big Ten with Michigan, with Ohio State, with all the great programs in the Big Ten. But Miami, there's something better about college football when Miami, Texas, SC, some of the big-time programs are good, like your Penn States and your Ohio States.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
When they were in
this year.
Although Miami hasn't, like, everyone keeps doubting them, saying Carson Beckett's going to run out, he's going to throw the interceptions, and yet they're here with one of the best pass rushers in the country. I think Miami actually pulls the upset Monday night, but we'll see what happens there.
All right.
Will Smith.
Sammy, what's next?
All right, so this one's insane. Kyle Tucker,
Jesus, man. Go home.
who is under
Miami.
who is under more pressure this weekend of second-year quarterbacks? Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix.
It's a great question. It does feel like Caleb Williams to me, even though he might be playing against the best team. Like Bo Nix, the pressure's almost off of him because he's playing against Josh Allen. Drake May, this is his first time in the postseason. Caleb Williams, it's his first time too. However, have you guys been watching the Bears? They are the comeback kids. It feels like the fourth quarter is their area. I expect the Bears to be down going into the fourth quarter, but are we just going to be let down by Caleb Williams not stepping up to the plate? That's where the pressure comes in because they've been the cardiac Bears all year. You feel like they're never out of a fight. Well, Bears fans will think they're never out of the fight until the final whistle. But what if it doesn't happen?
I disagree a little bit because the Bears, they've really feasted on turnovers created by their defense, which is like really a turnover needy defense. They're not great if you look at their stats. They're not a hemmed up defense the way, for example, the Houston Texans or even the New England Patriots are, but they're solid. And they're solid because they generate turnovers. If they have a dry spell in the playoffs at all, they're going to struggle. And when you look at Stafford, how few interceptions he's thrown this season, did he have one through the regular season? Is that accurate? I don't think he threw one against the Carolina Panthers. So, I mean, this guy has thrown one pick in 2025 and 2026. That's unbelievable. So I think the pressure is, or I should say, the guy who's feeling the least pressure.
8 interceptions.
All right, so I may have fudged that.
Close.
Rich
was close.
We got fake news Ornberger.
Have you
here.
guys seen the TikToks and the Instagram stories of the people in New England losing their minds over the savior Drake May?
Yeah.
I mean, there is some pressure on that guy right now.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory that Drake May is actually the spawn of frozen sperm from Tom Brady?
Right.
Because he lived in the area at the right time.
Right. Right.
Rich, care to comment on that?
Yeah, well, I can confirm he is the spawn of Tom Brady. No,
Okay, we knew it.
Here's what I'll say about Drake May. I think there's the least amount of pressure on him because there were no expectations for the Patriots. This felt like a complete rebuild.
That's true.
With Bo Nix and Sean Payton working together, I mean, that's a Super Bowl winning coach. I think there is some pressure there on Bo Nix specifically because if Payton doesn't feel like he can win with you, he'll find someone else. Remember, he's used to Drew Brees. Mike Vrabel was working with, what's his name, from the Miami Dolphins during his time with the Tennessee Titans. He turned an average quarterback into a playoff quarterback during his time with the Tennessee Titans. And so
Ryan Tannehill.
Thank you. Ryan Tannehill was not good.
Right.
He was a not good quarterback. So I think when you look at Drake May, he's got at least enough leash to get through his third year. I'm not sure I could say the same thing about Bo Nix. And then in terms of Caleb Williams, like I said, with the Chicago Bears, it's their defense I'm really focused on.
All right, Sammy, I hate to do this to you. We'll get your answer later, but give us the last headline here before we get out.
Well, I was going to say it for the other side, but Kyle Tucker signs with the Dodgers, 4-year, $240 million contract. Obviously, the no salary cap is really making baseball pay. What does this mean for baseball going forward with Kyle Tucker going with the Dodgers?
Can we all just acknowledge that the Dodgers now have $800 million plus contracts on their roster?
Crazy.
$100 million plus contracts on their roster. This is stupid. Baseball's become stupid. And it's not the Dodgers' fault. They're taking advantage of a broken system, but baseball is stupid.
What's he tucking?
That's a good question.
$100 million.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Wasn't it like 60? 64 is in his bank account today.
Yeah, it's 60 per year, 240.
No, there was a signing bonus of an additional 64, and they deferred more money, by the way.
I would put,
That's cool because they said they weren't going to do that anymore.
yeah, I would put that in the bank. Don't tuck it anywhere. Maybe invest it in some reasonable real estate investments. Look, here's the deal. Kyle Tucker, I remember hearing about him for the first time because Mike Hartman, who you hear on San Diego Sports 760, he does the Jason Smith show, is a huge Chicago Cubs fan, and he said he is dynamite. And the Dodgers, they're just doing Dodgers things. The Dodgers...
Sammy, weren't the Dodgers out on Tucker?
Well, that's what's crazy is everyone thought it was the Mets and the Blue Jays in the running for him because he wanted a longer-term deal, completely spurned them. Yeah, it's just it's hard because no salary cap, baseball, and there's no other league like this. The NBA, the NFL, there's a reason why the NBA, the Lakers, and the Knicks aren't in the championship every single year. If there was no salary cap, they would be there. It does feel like there has to be regulation on Major League Baseball, and it's not going to be for this year. The lockout is going to happen. Unfortunately, probably won't get baseball in 2027, but it's probably what baseball needs the most.
Good on him, though, after getting cut from the Ravens.
No, that's Justin Tucker.
Oh, a little different.
And you know what? Honestly, that was a whole scenario where, I mean,
different circumstances.
Yeah. Keep him away from massage parlors for a little while.
Speaking of Justin Tucker, do you think he's sitting at home watching that final play of the Ravens season this year and being like, ha, losers?
With Tyler Loop? Yeah, I would imagine he is.
All right, we're going to take a break. You two get the hell out of here. Go home. Rich, a very happy birthday to Annie. We love Annie.
Thank you. A very happy birthday to Kendall, your wife.
Yeah, you should get her a gift.
I did get her plenty of presents, TD. Okay. All right. We'll be back. Those Wiz Khalifa and MGK tickets coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Always fun checking in with the big fellas, Big Rich and TD. Hey, if you don't notice and you have been missing that show over Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, which used to be here in the mornings, you can find us every single morning over on 101.5 KGB, 6 to 10 a.m. Still having the same amount of fun. Bar Cart Friday still on YouTube every Friday. Things get chaotic, things get fun, and sometimes Sammy gets kidnapped. So all good.
I got kidnapped. Tequila was forced down my throat, but I think I'm handling it better than some other members of the
namely show. Travis Dale. Dude, he's a wild man. He's a wild boy.
Travis, I hope Travis is not driving home
he
later.
Usually takes a little bit of a nap here on Fridays. That's why we have the couch in our office.
That's probably good for all parties.
All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Steve Hartman's going to be joining us coming up at 1:30 to give us some thoughts and predictions on this upcoming divisional round postseason. I'm sure Steve's also going to have thoughts on what the Dodgers have done in the world of baseball. Now, I'm not gonna go as far as some people have gone over the last 24 hours to talk about how the Dodgers are ruining baseball. I don't think that's the case. Baseball is ruining itself. The Dodgers are simply taking advantage of what's being presented to them. This is the reason why in a couple of years we're going to have a lockout. This is the reason why the 2027 baseball season will not happen, or at least a big portion of it will not happen, because as of this moment, as of right now, as we stand on January 16th at 12:22, the Dodgers have 8 players on their team who are making over $100 million on their contract. That's absurd. Our buddy SD Tyler pointing out on YouTube, $413.5 million payroll is absurd. It is absurd. And it's anti-sport when you really think about it. And again, it's not the Dodgers' fault. They're allowed to do everything they've done.
Right.
But it is anti-sport because it's not a level playing field right now. One team is, and every owner should be doing this probably, but the Dodgers are doing this. And that's why they're probably going to win the World Series again this year.
Well, it is just, I agree with everything you just said. It's not the Dodgers' fault. People point to the Dodgers as they're ruining baseball. Be mad at Rob Manfred. Be mad at the MLB Players Association, by the way, which is one of the strongest unions of any professional sports team. It is crazy the Dodgers can just sign whoever. I mean, it's a luxury at this point. They have 3 outfielders that are in their top 10 prospects, and they're not even going to see the field because they just signed Kyle Tucker. Like, that is how talented this team is. They don't have a closer last year. They go sign one of the best in the game in Edwin Diaz. Now you get Kyle Tucker, who's 29. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches, but it just, we can talk about it ad nauseum, but it's insane that the NBA is a salary cap. The NFL is a salary cap. It's wild that the MLB doesn't. And we talk about there needs to be a salary cap. There also needs to be a salary floor, because MLB is the only franchise, or the only sports league where half the league really isn't trying to win. I always go back to the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates of the last 3 seasons has been one of the most talented pitching staffs in the entire major leagues. I mean, Paul Skeens, they've had another couple top prospects really coming up and be great, but their owner is not going to spend money to put a 1 through 9 batting lineup out there to really compete. So they can tell you at the mic that they're going to compete. They show you by their wallet they're not going to compete. The MLB is very flawed in this regard, and until the lockout happens, unfortunately, everyone's going to have to deal with the Dodgers just kind of signing everyone and everyone playing second fiddle.
It is crazy because we have lock-ins and lockouts in other sports. Like, it's happened in the NFL, and it sucks when it happens. But usually it's a fight because players' healthcare isn't good enough. The salary cap's not high enough. They're not making enough money. This lockout is literally going to be because one team is making too much money.
Totally. And we were talking before the show.
Here, let me just throw out the numbers here real quick, Sammy, because Shohei Ohtani, 10-year deal, $700 million. Mookie Betts, 12-year deal, $365 million. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 12-year deal, $325 million, which, by the way, they signed before he threw a single pitch in Major League Baseball. Kyle Tucker, 4 years, $240. Blake Snell, 5 years, $180. Freddie Freeman, 6 years, $160. Will Smith, 10-year, a catcher, 10 years, $140. Tyler Glasnow, 5 years, $136. And that's not even to mention the bad contracts that the Dodgers have signed that are almost $100 million.
Right,
like
Tanner
Scott.
Right.
Teoscar Hernandez is up near $70 million. Who's the other guy? The World Series hero. His contract is up over 60.
Kike Hernandez is not up over 60.
Is it Rojas?
Miguel Rojas is not like 60 million, but he has gotten kind of chipped out in terms of 1-year contracts. It's just, to your point, what you're saying, most teams signing Tanner Scott, him being abysmal last year. I believe he blew 12 saves for the Dodgers last year, 13 saves, didn't even pitch in the postseason. would be punished by that. The Dodgers are able to just go out and sign Edwin Diaz, the best closer in the game outside of Mason Miller. So that's going to be a strength in next year. It's just, look, baseball.
What happens when the lockout does happen? Do these like in a salary cap gets put in place?
Well, I think that's the issue, but also
do they get grandfathered in? Do they have to trade these guys? Seriously, what happens?
I don't know what no one's talking about as well. So Rob Manfred obviously is behind this, and let's speak it like it is. Rob Manfred loves that the Dodgers are great. The Dodgers open up a complete Asian market that wasn't there for, well, it was not that it wasn't there, wasn't at the level that it is with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki on the team. But the MLB Players Association is to blame too. There's a reason why I'm just throwing this guy's name out there. I'm not saying he's behind this. Jake Cronenworth, a guy like Jake Cronenworth would never get the contract that he got in a salary cap league. That would not happen. Teams are going to be much more due diligent with the money that they're spending, and it's going to require teams with great farm systems to be great. So the MLB Players Association has to change. Rob Manfred has to change. The entire just baseball as an entity has to change. And it's going to be 1 year before it even remotely does.
Which I do give baseball credit. Over the last decade, they've been more apt to change. They've instituted a pitch clock, which everyone panicked about and set their hair on fire for.
Greatest thing that ever happened to sport.
I think so too, Sammy. It's been awesome to see what they've done. They've changed the regular season extra innings rules. They put a player on second. Everyone lost their mind about that. That's worked out pretty nicely too. So baseball is going to make a change, I think. And it's going to probably hurt the fans because we're probably going to miss a year of baseball, which sucks. And that is the worst part about all of this. It's not the fact that the Dodgers are probably going to go out and win another World Series. Maybe that's a necessary evil that needs to happen in the world of baseball. What sucks is the MLB Players Association, like Sammy said, is one of the strongest one in all of sports. It's kind of like the teacher unions in the country. It's strong and it makes things a hassle. And this is going to lead to the owner saying, well, all right, well, if you're going to make this much of a deal, we're just not going to play.
And before we get to break, the reason why the MLB Players Association is so powerful is the NFL, no star is bigger than the team. No star is bigger than the shield. So you don't have this. Whereas the NBA, although it's salary cap in the MLB, is heavily star driven. They sell stars. Shohei Ohtani, Fernando Tatis Jr., Bryce Harper. That's what they market on. So the players have a lot more power than even great quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, because no one is bigger than the NFL brand or shield.
Yeah, the Niners-Eagles game just set a postseason record for most viewers ever in a wild card matchup. Right. Guess who's not in the NFL postseason this year? The star child of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes.
Totally.
More people are watching now than ever, and it's exactly what you just said, Sammy. All right, let's give away some Wiz Khalifa tickets here. Wiz Khalifa, MGK, in May at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Going to be a great show. I bet you that show smells like skunk a little bit. Just going to throw that out there. There might be a little sticky icky in the air, huh? 877-767-4760. If you want to go to that concert, you can call right now. 877-767-4760. Sammy, what caller you want to give these to?
Let's do, the phone line's going crazy. Let's do 14.
Caller number 14. You're going to the show. All right. While Sammy's getting you those tickets, I am going to tell you all about Valley View Casino and Hotel. How about it? Coming up tonight, it's Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall happening tonight, Friday, January 16th. You can be one of 10 guests who's going to spin to win $25,000. That's right. 10 guests can walk away with 25 grand each, plus more play is going to be awarded throughout the night. Earn entries all month long through slot or table play and activate your entry multiplier at our guest service kiosk located throughout the casino. And then tonight from 5 to 10 o'clock, it's your chance to win. While you're there, don't forget to join the Players Club. Signing up always quick, easy, and free. Plus, right now, when you join the Players Club, you're going to receive over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino. More play, that's free slot play. $10 of match play for tables games. $20 to the Black and Blue Steakhouse, which is the best steak in San Diego. $10 to Patties and Pints. $10 to the cafe, $10 to sticks or snacks, and many, many more. And the more you use your player's card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you're going to earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays, luxury gifts, invitations to exclusive events, and more. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel tonight for Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall. And join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants.
The sport's sponsored by Lowe's. Aztecs back tomorrow night, taking on New Mexico live from Viejas Arena. Schaefer will get you going at 5. I'll get you going pregame starting at 4. And breaking news out of the NFL, the Texans have officially ruled out wide receiver Nico Collins for Sunday's game against the Patriots per Adam Schefter. The Patriots are currently a 3.5-point favorite in that one. Turn big plans into real results at Lowe's with 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more with a MyLowe's Rewards credit card, valid through January 15th through January 30th. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payment required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
We were just talking about the Dodgers signing of Kyle Tucker, and that's the big deal. But there were some other moves made around Major League Baseball. How about Bo Bichette going to the Mets on a 3-year, $126 million deal?
It's a good get for them.
That's huge for the Mets. We'll see. It hasn't gone so well for the Mets the last couple of years. Real Muto sticking with the Phillies on a $45 million deal. Gavin Lux getting moved today to the Rays.
He's a good player.
Team trade. Yeah, Gavin Lux is good.
Former Dodger and Cincinnati Red. Yeah, he could be a good player for them.
Interesting. None of those had the Padres in it whatsoever. All right. Well, we'll stick you up with any Padres news that comes also.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of Padres news that comes through considering they don't do anything.
Right now, if you're watching on YouTube or on X, I'm holding up a basketball. This basketball is signed by the one and only Brian Dutcher, who has coached 9 seasons on the Mesa as the head coach. I believe he's up to 25, 26 years as either a head coach or an assistant. He was here, of course, during the Steve Fisher years. Brian Dutcher signed this basketball. This basketball will leave our studio tomorrow and go home with one of you. If you are at the San Diego State New Mexico game, make sure you get there early. Go say hi to Sammy, who's filling in for me on the pregame show. Thank you, Sammy.
Pregame, baby.
It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, so I will be out of commission. But go say hi to Sammy. There's going to be a QR code on the pregame desk. Take a little snapshot of that QR code. Enter to win there, and you could be walking home with this Brian Dutcher signed basketball. It's a sweet ball, man. And that's going to be worth something one day, as one of the greatest head coaches in college basketball, period, has signed that ball. All right, our buddy Jay Silves kind of reiterating what Sammy just said. Nico Collins officially out for this weekend's NFL game between the Texans and the Patriots. That is big, although it's not one of Houston's defenders. So I feel like they might still be okay, but the line is dipping as we speak, the betting line. Sammy, you got an update for us on that?
It's hanging at 3 points. I expect it's going to go to New England. The markets were predicting that it would probably, because it opened at 3.5, would probably dip to Patriots favored by 2.5 because people will be betting Houston. But this is a big loss for them. Like Nico Collins, it's already a very limited offense. We talk about the defense is unbelievable. The defense might be the best in football. You could argue Seattle, you could argue Denver, but they're unreal. And you saw what they did against Pittsburgh. There's not a lot to go with in that offense. CJ Stroud, it puts a lot of pressure on him in the regard of, is he going to step up and be that big time quarterback? Because Christian Kirk had a big outing. I'll give him a lot of credit against Pittsburgh. But with Nico Collins out, now you know, and Christian Gonzalez, the star corner for New England, trending back to playing, they're probably going to take Christian Kirk out of this thing. So CJ Stroud has got to have probably the game of his life. I expect him to use a little bit of his legs, and Woody Marks and Nick Chubb on the ground have to be fantastic. The underlying storyline, everyone talks about Josh Allen. Everyone talks about all these other quarterbacks, pressure, Bo Nix. CJ Stroud, this is a really interesting game for him because your back's kind of against the wall, lose your star receiver. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to lose to the guy in his first time in the playoffs, or are you going to come through and be hosting an AFC championship game, depending on who you play? I'm really excited for that game on Sunday.
All right, we have 9 million texts that we're going to get to, and we'll try to squeeze them all in at some point over the next hour and a half. Before we get to some of the NFC games, Sammy, who won those tickets just now?
Jeff.
How about Jeff? Going to Wiz Khalifa and MGK coming up in May. We'll have plenty more awesome prizes coming up for you next week. All right, so we're going to do some NFC talk here. AFC talk at the beginning of next hour. Steve Hartman's going to be joining us at 1:30. We got a busy hour and a half still to come for you, but let's start in the NFC. So the first game is going to be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this line opened up at 7.5. It has moved towards the 49ers. It has moved to 7 after the news of the Sam Darnold injury. He's dealing with an oblique. He expects to play in this game. We don't know how limited he's going to be. Of course he expects to play in this game. It's the playoffs and you're a quarterback, dude. But an oblique injury, I was talking to Rich about this earlier today before the mezcal started flowing, and he talked about how big that is for a quarterback. Essentially, everything you do as a quarterback is based on the rotation. When you're throwing the football, when you're running. And for Sam Darnold, depending on how bad this is, this might be a situation where even the day before the game, the morning of the game, he's having trouble getting out of bed. He's having trouble moving around, doing everything in normal day life. And then you get that shot, and maybe that helps you out a little bit, the Toradol.
That go juice.
Dude, it's ibuprofen on steroids. It's amazing if you've never had it before. But the Toradol will limber you up enough to move, but that stuff wears out over the course of a game. This could be a serious problem for Sam Darnold.
Well, I'm surprised. Take the injury aside. The line being at 7, I know
Crazy.
Open at 6.5. I understand the Niners are dealing with a lot of injuries. They've been dealing with injuries on defense the entire year. And then Kittle goes out in the last game. But the offense, obviously the offense would be better if George Kittle was there. But Brock Purdy made all of his big plays in the second half without Kittle. So I feel like we're getting a little too... The Seahawks should definitely be favored in this game. 7 points in a divisional rival for a team that played 2 weeks ago. Like, if I'm taking points, you're giving the Niners a touchdown. By the way, the team that's been here before, like the Seahawks have a lot to prove, because to the point about the oblique injury, everyone's waiting to see, can Sam Darnold win the big game? And this clarifies it's a big game. Can he win a playoff game against a division rival, a team that nothing's going to shock the Niners, nothing's going to shock the Seahawks both ways because they play each other so much. This is not great news heading into Seattle for the weekend. The Niners kind of feel like they're playing with house money a little bit because of all the injuries.
Not that this means anything, but do you know what Brock Purdy's record at Lumen Field is as a starting quarterback?
I do not.
4-0.
Man, that great game early in the year where Bosa got the sack. Yep.
Jake Ton just had the game-winning touchdown catch in that game. I will also say Mark Willard, I thought, had the best point of anybody on this game. He was on our show and he talked about it. He said there's a lot of times when if your last opponent was somebody you just beat, you're trying not to tweak with the game plan almost because, what we just did worked against that team. And they did. They physically dominated the 49ers in that final game of the season at Levi Stadium. But then it's the other team that the pressure kind of goes on. It's like, what are you going to do to switch things up for this game? And obviously the Niners are going to have a different game plan. They couldn't move the ball offensively against the Seahawks the last time they played. But what tweaks are the Seahawks going to make? Because what if whatever they change falls right into the Niners' hands?
Watching that game, the underlying part, the Niners were obviously terrible on offense, scored 3 points. But
they had the drive to go and tie the game. Near the end, Christian McCaffrey gave up the ball.
Completely. And the underlying thing that people aren't really talking about with that game, the Seahawks were terrible in the red zone. Were really bad. The game shouldn't have been close. They should have won like 27-3, but the Niners defense, have to give them a lot of credit, bowed up in the red zone. They went for it on that first drive of the game. Mike McDonald went for it from the 4-yard line, which I thought at the time was a really bad decision. There's a lot in this game. And again, if I'm Sam Darnold, I believe in Sam Darnold, but if I'm the Seahawks going, damn, you have to play the Niners, a team that like has been here before. No matter who's out there, Brock Purdy has played in a Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan has coached in 3 Super Bowls. They know what they're doing. This is why I really think if the Niners are going to win the game, it is crucial for the Niners. If I was the Niners, it sounds crazy. I always think kick the ball if you get the coin toss. I would receive it. I think making the Seahawks play from behind, taking away Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, and making Darnold have to make the big throws, especially if he's dealing with an oblique injury, is the way to go for San Francisco in this game.
All right, we got Rams-Bears Sunday at 3:30, a game you're going to hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. In Chicago, weather's supposed to be terrible. I believe snow was even in the forecast.
I think it's supposed
to
be like 5 degrees, something like that.
Like 5 degrees, which is crazy. Now, the benefit on the Rams side is they do have a guy, Devontae Adams, who actually in snow games over his career has been amazing. And Matthew Stafford, while he played in a dome in Detroit, is used to playing in that type of weather because of the division he played in for as long as he was with the Lions. So this is a tricky matchup for both teams. Honestly, is there a thought process to where the Rams might actually be more well-suited to play in the snow, in the cold than the Bears? Because it's a very young Bears team. Now, Ben Johnson has been making them practice outside all year long, but is there a chance that this Rams team with the veteran experience of a Stafford, of an Adams, is more well-suited to play in that type of game?
I hear your point. Now, Stafford, the underlying thing that I feel like has not been getting enough publicity this week, Stafford an MRI on his finger on Monday. And no one's talking about that. Like, so we'll see. And then that's obviously going to feel even worse when it's 5 degrees and you're getting hit. Now, Caleb Williams, to your point, he played in LA and Oklahoma.
Right.
So it's not like he is from Washington, D.C., so he did play in some cold weather in high school. But this game is just fascinating to me.
When Chicago cold is just different.
Right, that's
the lake effect breeze or what the wind that they get.
Bone chilling cold.
Yeah, it's different types of cold. This is going to be a challenge.
It's kind of funny how both home teams in the NFC, Seattle and Chicago, are playing two teams that have been there before. This is why if you're Chicago, I think in Seattle, you have to play with the lead and make the Niners and the Rams chase you. Because if you give the Niners and Rams the feeling of like, yeah, we've been here before and these guys haven't, Darnold and Caleb just haven't done it yet. The Bears are going to score points because the secondary of the Rams is not very good. My concern though with the Bears is the defense is extremely turnover reliant, and you saw it in the first half against Green Bay. They were kind of stomped all over, and Green Bay's horrible decisions in the second half, not running the football, really led to them coming back in that game. But I think the Rams Bears, despite how cold it is a really high scoring affair.
It's going to be fascinating, man. I can't remember a time where I looked at all the matchups in the divisional round and the wild card round, and you legitimately were like, oh, we could have very different outcomes than anyone's predicting.
You could see all road teams. I don't think that's going to happen. You could see all road teams winning this weekend, and I don't think it would be crazy.
That wouldn't be crazy. But you could literally make an argument either way in almost every single game. I think the one game that I'm kind of locked in on is I do think Bo Nix completely folds under the pressure and the Bills win.
Really?
That's the one game I'm kind of locked in on. All right, take a quick break here. Long shots on the other side. Divisional round long shots. This is a big one.
We have a special parlay cooked up for everyone.
This is a big one, Sammy. If you were going to get one right all year long, it feels like this is the one to do.
By the way, real quick, Quacked on Padres, one of our loyal listeners,
love Quacked,
is the best. He's a big Seahawks fan. He wants to do a jersey swap with you. Just by the way, we never followed up with Stan. Stan is supposed to come in studio and switch jerseys with you, and that never happened. It'd be a shame. Like, what's going to happen? You can't just put on a Seahawks jersey twice if they lose tomorrow.
Just make it all happen at once. Just get it on my skin, get it off my skin. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll be okay. I have a bet with Kat Fisher also, who's from Seattle. That bet's a lot worse for me.
But Kat doesn't care if she has to wear a 49er. She's like,
that's not the bet. The bet is if the Niners lose, I have to dress up like Kat for today. If the Niners win, Kat has to dress up like me for the day.
What do you mean dress up like Kat?
Like I have to wear ladies' clothes to work, Sammy. And if the Niners win, she has to wear one of my outfits to work for the day, which means she's going to need 9,000 belts to hold it on.
Yeah, I'm going to say you really get the bad end of the stick there because she's just going to wear like a Hawaiian shirt and a hat and be fine. You're going to wear like a sports bra and
you think it look good on me, Sammy?
I think you look fantastic.
See,
buddy.
But again, that's like working. So what you accuse me of doing sometimes, Sammy, where I like make bets on your behalf. This bet was not my idea. I never
do that all the time for
sure.
me.
But you realize it's because it gets handed down. Rich and TD do that to me all the time. So now I do it to you all the time. That's kind of the chain of things, how it goes here. So welcome. You're the newest link on the chain, Sammy. All right, long shots next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. And we're back. It's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you until 2 o'clock today. If it's your first time joining the show, we're damn glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for finding us. Stick around for a little bit. This is a little segment we do called Long Shots, where Sammy makes us all just millions and millions of dollars year in and year out. He does a great job with it. Daily fantasy lineups. If you got one of the apps, feel free to play along with us. Sammy, what's our status on sound?
So the computer playing music, everyone listens to the show knows I love playing music coming back from breaks, had a great song queued up and apparently wanted to not work right before we hop on. So should we test it out and see if the lower computer works?
Well, yeah, see if we got long shots ready to go.
Hey. You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that man his man.
With Long Shots.
All right, I do want to hit a couple of these texts. 913, I must ask you a question. Does Travis have a room car ride home today? Great question, 913. I do believe he is asleep in not our office as we speak. 858, talking about Sammy's pick for the national championship game in college football, says, to be fair, Sammy hasn't picked a winner in weeks.
I was almost perfect over the NFL weekend.
Who dat Hoosiers? 619.
I picked Miami to go. That's wrong.
Why would the Padres sign anyone at this point? I mean, it's a good point. They're trying to sell the team. 858, are you giving away a bottle of mezcal? No, we are not, but you can go buy a bottle of Animas mezcal at any keg and bottle throughout San Diego. I believe they're 10% off today if you mention Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. 619, seeing Fletch with such hope right before his favorite team crumbles is just a San Diego staple at this point. It happens every year. 619, that hurts a little more than I think you meant it to hurt, but I am ready to be hurt again by those rascally San Francisco 49ers. Sammy, can I ask you if I'm walking into a trap here before we get to long shots?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm walking into a trap. My wife and I were eating sushi last night at a little place we love in San Diego, Osaka Sushi. And we were eating, and she told me, she looked up and said, I'm so sorry about this weekend. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, my birthday is on the same day as the Niners game. I said, oh, that's okay. Saturday's all about you. I'll make it work. Whatever has to happen. If I have to record the game, watch it after you go to sleep, that's fine. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't really mean any of that. I'm going to be watching the game on my phone the whole time, but that's what I said. And she said, no, it's okay. You can watch on your phone during dinner. Is that a trap?
I don't know, because I don't have a wife, so that's kind of a you thing. I would be watching the game, but again, I'm not married to her, so.
70470, sorry, message would seem. Is that a trap, or should I just start watching anyways? I'm going to watch the game. Sammy, where are we going, long shots?
All right, we have a pick for every game plus the national championship game because we are off on Monday. We're going to get to it. Denver, Buffalo, Josh Allen, more than 36.5 rushing yards. I think this is my favorite bet of my whole lineup. Josh Allen has to be Superman and win this game. The Denver defense is fantastic. Pat Surtain on the outside. They only have 3 active receivers available for this game. Keep in mind, he also hurt his hand on a Jacksonville Jaguars helmet, defensive lineman. He's going to have to put the cape on. They're going to try to take away James Cook in the run game. I think that Josh Allen goes crazy. More than 36.5 rushing yards against that Denver defense and slow down that pass rush. All right, we're getting to Seattle, San Francisco. Kenneth Walker, less than 58.5 rushing yards. Last time they played, he had 97. Charbonnet had 74 as well. So you're going, Sammy, what? Why are you going to bet the under now? The Seahawks are going to, the Niners are going to take away the run. That has to be the first priority. Make Sam Darnold with an oblique injury beat you over the top. Test these corners on the outside with a nice secondary. Mustafa's really stepped up recently. I think the Niners' number one priority is going to be taking the run away. I also expect this game to be a lot closer than the betting line is saying with the Seahawks out in front running the football. So Kenneth Walker, less than 58.5 rush yards, plus it's a timeshare with him and Charbonnet, so that his touches are limited. All right, let's go to New England, Houston. Dalton Schultz, more than 4.5 receptions. Really has not gotten the love he deserves coming over from Dallas. He was kind of their big ticket free agent. And now with Nico Collins out, they're going to be keen on Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is not going to have the same game that he had against Pittsburgh. Dalton Schultz, the way to attack that New England defense is straight up the middle. Dalton Schultz, more than 4.5 receptions in that one. All right, Chicago, Los Angeles, Kyron Williams. Temperature is supposed to be about 5 degrees. Kyron Williams, more than 61.5 rush yards. Remember, Matt Stafford dealing with a finger injury. Rams keeping it kind of hush-hush, not talking a lot about it. Going to be in the cold. This Bears defense you can run on. I think they want to control the game, sit Caleb on the sidelines, and hopefully if you're the Rams, hopefully he makes some mistakes later in the game. Kyron Williams going to be a big factor in the cold, more than 61.5 rush yards. And then the national championship game. Indiana, Miami. Malachi Toney, wide receiver for the U, more than 76.5 rush and reception yards. Indiana has one of the best linebacker cores in the entire country. That's why we're staying away from the running back, Mark Fletcher for Miami, who has been fantastic. Malachi Toney has to be a part of the game plan. He's the electric true freshman. And let's all give Carson Beck some love. Everyone's talking about Fernando Mendoza in this Indiana offense, rightfully so. Carson Beck is also his third national championship game. He's been here before, and everyone kind of keeps waiting. He's going to make the big mistake. He's going to turn the ball over. I think Miami's got something for Indiana. I think this game's going to be very close. I actually think Miami is going to pull the upset. All right, to recap, Josh Allen, more than 36.5 rush yards against that Denver defense. Kenneth Walker, less than 58.5 rush yards against the Niners. Dalton Schultz, more than 4.5 receptions for the Houston Texans. Kyron Williams, more than 61.5 rush yards. And Malachi Toney, wide receiver for Miami, more than 76.5 rush and receiving yards. Flex Friday, 70% payout boost. Ooh. Lock it in. Win us some money over the weekend.
70%?
$20 right now wins me $340.
Dang, girl. That's crazy. All right, let's see here. We got a text from the 858 that said, shout out to Osaka off of Mission Gorge, easily one of the most underrated sushi spots in San Diego. That is mine and my wife's sushi spot. We're there once a week at least. We used to live right next to it. Now we live out in La Mesa. We still make that drive pretty much every single week. That is the spot, Sammy. If you want some cheap, high quality sushi, that is the spot for you. All right, quick break here. On the other side, it's hour number 2. Steve Hartman's going to be joining us coming up at 1:30. At 1:45, our official picks for the divisional round AFC. On the other side, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. Aztecs taking on New Mexico tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Schaefer will get you going at 5 with the game. I'll get you going pregame starting at 4. And you can hear Bears, Rams this Sunday at 3 o'clock on San Diego Sports 760. The Bears are currently 3.5-point home dogs in that one with a shot to go to the NFC Championship game. Imagine what you can find on eBay, like a rare hologram trading card that you've become totally obsessed with, shiny like the designer handbag of your dreams. eBay has it. They even have the perfect parts that will fit your car. Millions of finds, each with a story. Find it at eBay.
Welcome to the Fletch
Ben Fletcher, that's Sammy Long.
Not like other guys.
Where are we going in sports?
Sound off like you got a pair.
Professional football in America is a special game, a unique game.
It's divisional round weekend in the NFL. Rams versus Bears.
I think the way that our guys play, I think it suits us well in any sort of conditions, and that's kind of what we've always said.
Bills versus Broncos. 49ers versus Seahawks.
They played us real well, beat us, but I know we can play better than that. So I'm glad we got another shot.
Texans versus Patriots. Who will be the NFL's Final Four? Is it even legal to say that? The Aztecs are back on the Mesa tomorrow night versus New Mexico, and MLB signings are heating up. What's AJ gonna do to keep pace? From the San Diego Sports 760 studios, we go into the Fletch Zone.
Yeah, it's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer's gonna take over. Then, still to come on the show, Steve Hartman at 1:30. Man, these chats with Steve have gotten crazier and crazier and more fun and more fun. I'm sure he has lots of thoughts on the NFL divisional round, as well as the Kyle Tucker signing by the Dodgers, which has sent shockwaves through the baseball world once again. Here's what Sammy and I are doing. All right, we have a big 3 coming up in just a little bit. We took care of the NFC games a little bit earlier in the show. Now we're going to look to the AFC games. And then after we put all this into a blender and kind of pour out our thoughts on these games, we're going to make official picks against the spread coming up at 145. If you would like to do the same thing, we would love to hear your picks coming up at 145. So YouTube, comment at San Diego Sports 760, text line 70470, start your message with team. And we may even have time for a couple of talkbacks. So open up that free iHeartRadio app, listen to San Diego Sports 760, click that little red microphone icon, and give us your picks for a couple of games, either the national championship game in college football or the 4 NFL games that we have coming up over the next couple of days. Sammy, let's get going with the AFC side of things. So the first game of the entire weekend is going to be the Denver Broncos, the 1 seed in the AFC, hosting the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. Now, there's a lot of question marks coming into this game about Josh Allen's health. If you watched his game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, it took every bit of him to get that win. And man, Jacksonville's a very, very good team. Here's what I will say about this matchup. You know who Cynthia Freeland is? She works for the NFL Network.
Of course I know Cynthia Freeland is.
She dives deep into the numbers of games like this. In the wild card round a year ago, Buffalo played against Denver. In that game, Buffalo was able to run all over Denver. And while Denver's defense is this big, bad, awesome defense this year, they struggle giving up yards on the ground. And Buffalo could take advantage of that in this game, especially if Josh Allen is doing Josh Allen things and being Superman. So I don't know. I get the feeling. I know our buddy Jay Silves on YouTube is saying he's thinking that the Broncos are going to go in there and pull the upset. I really feel like the Buffalo Bills have everything to lose in this game. And they're going to be able to go out there and run all over Denver. And this is going to be a really tough day for Broncos and Broncos fans.
It's hard for me because could I see Josh Allen going in there? He is the best player on the field and winning the game 100%.
He's the best player left in the postseason. Do we feel comfortable enough to say that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's very fair. But I also do feel like everyone is picking Buffalo. And I think people, and I'm not switching takes. I have not been the biggest Bo Nix supporter. This is what gives me pause. If you stack rosters, it's not even close, the talent that Denver has to the talent that Buffalo has. Now, sounds like Ed Oliver could be coming back for Buffalo, which is a big get. The defensive tackle he's missed the last couple months. Having 3 receivers, though, is a big deal against this defense. So Surtain, they have a great pass rush. Like Nick Benito probably is one of the most underrated pass rushers in the game and doesn't get the love he probably should get. And I just feel like Allen extremely banged up going into this game. His hand got messed up. He looked like he almost got concussed, but he didn't. And he had the foot injury. Right? I mean, who knows? They said he didn't get concussed.
He got concussed, but
we saw James Cook shut down by Jacksonville. And I know Denver can get run on. I just feel like, are we not giving enough respect to Denver, I feel like everyone's just assuming that Josh Allen, the Bills, are going to go in there and whoop up on him. And I don't know if Josh Allen them have the weapons to do that.
It's absolutely possible. Now, what the Buffalo Bills have done over the last week is I'm sure they're going to be getting ready with a bunch of 2 tight end sets with both Knox and Kincaid as receivers in this game because they're running out. Tyrell Shavers hurt in the last game. Gabe Davis, who's been big game Gabe for the Bills, got hurt in the last game as well. They're down to Keon Coleman, who's been kind of a disappointment since he got to Buffalo. crazy freak athlete,
At
should have
Florida
been
State,
incredible, but just hasn't really panned out at the NFL level yet. Khalil Shakir, who I believe caught 11 passes a week ago against the Jags, but nothing is really deep down the field. That's not his game. He's a slot receiver. And then Brandon Cooks, who may have been the second most important players on the Buffalo Bills team a week ago against Jacksonville. Those are their three wide receivers. They do have Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, who are both excellent tight ends. Knox a little bit older, Kincaid a little bit younger. But you look at what they have, and they have weapons. It's just the main guys who have got them to this point are not going to be on the field in this game.
I'm excited in this game just to watch as a fan of the NFL, because the loser of this game has big question marks, because it's obvious for Buffalo. Now, some people are going to come on and go, which is somewhat fair, but I'm kind of over this with Josh Allen, everyone. Josh Allen has to just win the big game, and I gave him a lot of credit for beating Jacksonville last week. I thought that was maybe the toughest opponent for him so far this postseason, and he was sensational in that game with not getting a lot of help from anywhere else. If Josh Allen and the Bills lose, people are going to go, Josh Allen loses again in the postseason. If not now, then when? Because Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes aren't there. But Bo Nix, the other side, people aren't really talking about. Drake May and Caleb Williams, both other second-year quarterbacks, this was their first postseason. So if Caleb Williams or Drake May had both gotten beat by Jordan Love and Justin Herbert, I think people would have been critical, but people would have went, first time they got to the postseason, we're not going to kill him. Bo Nix was here last year, and that team lost to Buffalo, got trounced. It makes sense. They weren't even on the same playing field. But all these fourth quarter comebacks, barely being the Jets, Commanders, Giants, Chiefs with the third stringers on Christmas Day, it just feels like, is this another, just like Buffalo, the best opportunity Denver will have with Bo Nix to win a Super Bowl? So if they go out in the first round, what's the concern with them going forward? Because the division's not getting any easier. The Chiefs and Chargers will both be back. Chargers offensive line will be healthy. The Chiefs will be healthy. And Fernando Mendoza's coming to the division with the Raiders. So there's a lot riding on this game for both teams in the future of the AFC.
What's wild is I see a very easy scenario where the 6-5 are the teams who advance in terms of seeds. So all the 1s and 2s lose. So the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots, the Chicago Bears all lose this weekend. I can see that easily happening, and you're left with 5s and 6s in the Final Four, as Big Voice Guy said. All right, let's get to the other game real quick before the big three. Patriots hosting the Houston Texans. It's been about the Texans defense all year. CJ Stroud, I would say, has been a little disappointing in both years 2 and 3 as the Texans quarterback. And he was disappointing in game 1 of the postseason. It was really the defense that won them that game as well. CJ Stroud put the ball on the ground 4 times. If he does that against the Patriots, this isn't a football game. If CJ Stroud takes care of it, if they are able to kind of eke out the time of possession battle, the Texans have a real shot. In fact, I would say should win this game against the Patriots. Nico Collins being out is a big deal. It's a huge deal. He is that one downfield threat that Houston has, and Nico Collins, I think, has separated himself over the last couple of years as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL when healthy. He's not healthy again for this one, and that's big for Houston. But if they have any chance in this game, it's got to be CJ Stroud, not with a single turnover on his box score after the game. CJ Stroud's going to have to play as good as he's played all year and then some.
Well, and who's going to step up? Like, it can't just be the defense. If you didn't watch the Monday Night Football game against Pittsburgh, you're like, oh, they blew them out. It wasn't close. It was 7-6 at half.
It was a close game.
It was 10-6 in the start of the fourth quarter.
They got a pick 6 on Rodgers, and the Steelers defense had like kind of given up.
And the strip sack before, like, it broke the game open. So again, against Pittsburgh and a statue quarterback, to what you just said, totally understandable. It works. Drake May, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, the quarterbacks you're going to see from here on out, that's not going to be enough. And you're also, let's say you win this game, you could be playing Denver, which has just as good of a defense of you or even better. So Stroud has to step up. I'm really looking for in that game. It kind of feels like Drake May's playing with house money a little bit, because his division, the Bills are going to be good for years.
They won like 3 games last year.
They won 3 games last year. They've already won a playoff game against a team that everyone picked to upset them. And it's not like Miami or the Jets are becoming threats anytime soon in their division. So if I'm New England, I think they're the team playing with the most house money of this entire weekend.
Good point from our buddy Sir Will. I saw this note earlier today that Curtis Samuel had been activated from the IR, so it adds a wide receiver to the Bills room.
And he was there before. That's a good get for them.
Yeah, huge. All right, Samuel, let's get to the big three here of hour number 2. Go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Where are we going, Shimmy?
National championship game Monday night. We are off, so we're going to get a little talk in right now. The line was set at open at 7.5 in favor of Indiana. And keep in mind, this game is being played in Miami's home stadium, the national championship. It has been bet up to 8.5. Questions this: what's more likely, Indiana to score or more blowout win, or Miami pulling the upset?
You know, before when Miami won that game against Ole Miss and they made it to the national championship, I was like, oh, Miami has a real shot at winning this thing, especially on their home turf. And then we saw what Indiana did to Oregon. And Indiana dominated that game from start to finish. Wasn't even close. Literally, like the third play of the game was the pick six. Not even the third. Was it the first play of the game?
First play of the game.
First play of the game was the pick six. So I do think Indiana might just be too big to fail at this point. Kirk Cignetti is the best head coach in college football right now. And everyone just has to kind of accept that. The Indiana Hoosiers, I do think, cover this spread. That's where my money would be going. It doesn't really matter how big it is. I don't care if it was 13.5 points. I'd probably be betting Indiana.
I hear you. I think Miami's pulling the upset. I don't know.
Wow.
I got a weird feeling about this game. They've had that mojo all year, and this is a team that's been doubted. Let's not forget, they were supposed to be the number one threat to Ohio State. Remember when they beat USF, they beat Florida, and then they went through a little bit of a nosedive. They lost to Louisville, a couple games in there, and everyone was like, yeah, Carson Beck, he's not all that. This is his third national championship game he's played in. They beat Ohio State. They beat A&M, who people kind of had as a dark horse sleeper, and then they go beat Ole Miss. I don't know. Indiana is due for a game that's close. I don't think they're just blowing everyone out the entire way through. Miami is they're just playing with this swag. They have the front seven to really get Mendoza under pressure, and they have the skill position players and Mark Fletcher and Malachi Tony to keep it close. I don't know. In their home stadium, I'm calling the upset. I think Miami actually wins it outright and spoils the Fernando Mendoza's Kurt Cignetti Cinderella run.
What's the over-under on the amount of times the ESPN cameraman finds that one huge Miami fan in the crowd?
Does her name rhyme with, we're not even going to say that.
Schmabella? I got the number of 5, by the way. Over 5.
ESPN's not going to be showing her.
Hell yes, they do every week.
But that was just the one because I don't even know when we can get it.
They do the crowd shots, Sammy.
Everyone under the age of, well, I guess it's for all ages.
Everyone knows it. It's okay.
Everyone knows who it is. Listen, let's just say it'll be an attractive crowd down there in Miami. Okay.
All right, what's next, Sammy?
All right. What top 2 seed do you have the most faith in this weekend in the NFL? Denver, in the New England, or in the top 2, Seattle or Chicago? Every one of them are dogs except for New England.
Wait, that's not right. Seattle's not a dog.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I meant yes. No, Seattle's the favorite.
I mean, oddly enough, so much of this has to do with opponent. I think I'm most comfortable with the Patriots. I really do. I talked about how CJ Stroud has to play perfect, and I don't think he will. Whereas New England, they're going to manage to score some points, man. Mike Vrabel has this team cooking. Patriots are the 1 or 2 seed I have the most faith in because I think matchup based, they have the best shot to advance. It is crazy that I could easily see every higher seed get upset this weekend pretty easily.
I'm going to go with Seattle because the Niners are banged up, but it makes me nervous that it's a divisional game. It does give me some hesitation, some pause. I just think at the end of the day, the Sam Darnold injury makes me a little nervous, but they do have a lot of weapons. I think them getting Rashid Shaheed was a really big deal at the deadline. They can get the ball in his hands a multitude of ways because he is a speed demon. Jackson Smith and Jigba's got to be a part of it early. And then
best wide receiver in the NFL this year.
Yeah, I think on my long shots, I went under 58.5 for Kenneth Walker. I think this game is going to fall on Sam Darnold. I do think the Niners are going to take the runaway, and I do think Purdy will play well. I would go with Seattle. They are the biggest line, and that home field is legit. In a weird way, if this makes sense, I think the Rams win the game. But I talked about how New England is playing with house money. Chicago is really playing with house money. Like, Chicago has had a season that they won the division. Not a lot of people predicted that. And then now they won a playoff game against their division rival. It's very free. In the Rams, we talk about Buffalo having a lot of pressure. The Rams have a ton. Matthew Stafford's 37. How much longer do you have with Matthew Stafford? Sean McVay has flirted with retirement for years now. What's going on with him? Like, they are going to be playing tight in this game, and I just feel like Chicago is going to be playing very loose, and then in their home field, it's just kind of this is kind of a Cinderella run, a lot like the Commanders were last year, I would go Seattle, but I would put the Bears as a close second.
How about the fact that we had 3 worst to firsts, or not worst to first, but worst in their division to this point in the NFL postseason left on their radar?
It's crazy.
Patriots, Bears, Niners. All of them came in last place in their division a year ago.
Well, it shows you what happens when, not taking anything away from those teams, but the NFL schedule, the way it works, when you play a 4th place schedule versus a 1st place schedule, it really matters. That's why it's just a genius setup by the NFL that you get rewarded for sucking in a way because it doesn't keep you down.
You hear that, Major League Baseball? Maybe take some notes. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. On the other side, I got some fun prop bets that I've made up for this weekend that Sammy Long is going to have to bet on. Here we go. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Steve Hartman is going to be jumping on the show to help us preview the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. But hey, coming up, the Aztecs tomorrow night. They got New Mexico at Viejas Arena. Pregame coverage gets going at 4 o'clock with our very own Sammy Long. John Schaefer is going to have the tip just after 5 o'clock right here on your home for the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. And Sammy, while you're out there at Viejas Arena, just in the courtyard, if you're watching on stream right now, either YouTube at San Diego Sports 760 or X at Fletch and Sammy, you'll see this beautiful Nike basketball that Brian Dutcher, the head coach of the Aztecs, has signed. Sammy's going to be giving that away out at the courtyard of Viejas Arena tomorrow night, 4 to 5. Thank you again, Sammy, for filling in for me tomorrow. And shout out to Mike Usher, who's going to be doing some engineering down at Viejas coming up tomorrow night. You ready for this, by the way?
I'm very ready. I'm very stoked. I'm excited to meet all the fans. Yeah, we come get the basketball, scan the QR code. We're gonna be in the running, and we're gonna chop it up with some Aztecs basketball pregame.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, I have made some NFL prop bets for this weekend that have come from the very own mind of Ben Fletcher.
You made them, so they aren't real prop bets.
These are not real prop bets. But if somebody wanted to make these real, I would have a lot of fun betting on them. All right, Sammy, you ready for these?
Let's hear it.
Prop bet number 1. overtime games this weekend in the divisional round of the NFL postseason. I have set the line at a half.
I think there'll be one. I think there'll be one because all the lines are very close. The biggest line is Seattle, San Francisco, and I do think that game is close as well. I just think no team is so much better than everyone else, and the better teams majority of the time are going on the road. So I would say we get one overtime game this weekend.
Sammy's going over. I am also going over on this one. We'll keep track of these and report back to you on Tuesday. I agree with pretty much everything you just said. I think that between the teams that have such great defenses and going head to head, like when you talk about that Houston New England game, there's a chance it's real low scoring. The lower score in the game, the more likelihood there's going to be overtime. So I would agree with this. All right, now they get kind of fun. How many times is Haley Steinfeld plus the baby mentioned on the Buffalo Bills broadcast?
Oh,
I have the line set at 1.5.
Oh,
announcers
more.
Can't help themselves.
Tony Romo love that 100%.
Jim, he's dating, or he's married to Haley Steinfeld. They're expecting a baby, Jim. He's playing like a new dad out there.
1.5, I think, is low. Because you know why?
Should I bump it up? What do you think?
No,
what should the line be?
No, keep it because I want to hit more than. Because did you see that thing that went viral of her in a Bronco jersey like 10 years ago?
No.
That's what they went back and found her. She was a Bronco fan growing up. And Josh Allen's already talked about it, like joked about it. So that will come up at least once or twice on the broadcast. So definitely more than 1.5.
I'm going to go under just to make this more fun. All right. How many times are the words Mr. Irrelevant mentioned on the 49ers Seahawks broadcast? I have that line set at 3.5.
Less than, because I think we're past that. Like the first year, it was this crazy story. Mr. Irrelevant is coming out of nowhere, gets into the game, gets into being the starting quarterback late in the season. I think we're past the Mr. Irrelevant narrative. That only really comes up if he's as a shot to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. See, when I made that number, I felt like it was a little bit low, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't know how I don't know this, but who's broadcasting the Niners Seahawks game? Do you know?
It's Fox.
Is it Fox? So it'll be Tom Brady again?
Yeah, I believe it's Burkhardt and Brady.
Burkhardt and Brady. I feel like Brady's going to fall into this. He's going to go from Mr. Relevant to extremely relevant.
Can I tell you something that bothers me so much is when I'm watching the NFL draft and they get to, what was Brady? Pick 199?
Yeah.
It was what every time they get to that pick, they have the Brady montage while there's picks coming off the board. I'm like, we get it. Brady was a late round pick. Come on.
Well, once Brock racks up a couple of Super Bowls, it's going to be that with Mr. Irrelevant all over again. All right. How many times are the words Patriots dynasty mentioned during the Patriots Texans game? I'm going 1.5.
Oh,
I feel like that's a good number, man.
Okay, this is completely contingent
if they're winning or not.
Right. If they're winning, and if they're winning handily, that will become a topic of discussion. Like they were obviously the most dominant force for the Chiefs, and then now are they back to being that Patriot dynasty? I think this is a tight game, so I'm going to go less than.
I'm going over. I don't think they can help themselves, man. It's just something we do. It's a crutch. It's like, when you're talking about this version of Drake May, like what was the first thing TD said today when he was talking about Drake May? Said something about Tom Brady. You can't help but go back and think about the Patriots team that dominated this time of year for as long as they did. If the Patriots are winning this game at all, Patriots dynasty will be mentioned a ton. All right. And then this one's funny. Lil Jon, is performing at halftime of the Niners Seahawks game. How many cringy uses of the word crunk will we get from the broadcast between Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt? I have the line set at 0.5.
More than, because Brady loves himself like commenting on. If you notice, how they do ad reads for like TV shows right before they come back in. The top tier teams like your Kevin Harlans, your Burkhardts, your Nances will comment on it, but the lower tier teams won't because I think they're insecure about their job, so they don't want to be like talking about some TV show. So relating back to music, he was going crazy when Eminem was coming out on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I think that's it. I think that number should be like 1.5.
Crunk? You think Brady's gonna say crunk more than once?
Well, he grew up during the crunk era. He was in college during the crunk era. That was like it was Brady's jam.
Oh, so Tom Brady is going to say the word. I'm going less than. I don't think it's possible. We're not going to hear Brady say crunk, although I hope we do. All right, those are just kind of fun. So we'll kind of take a look at those over the weekend and then report back on Tuesday who won that little round. Overtime games, we both went over. Haley Steinfeld plus baby mentions Sammy went over. I went under. Mr. Irrelevant, I went over. Sammy went under. Patriots Dynasty, I went over. Sammy went under. And cringy uses of the word crunk, set at a half. For
I like
Little
that.
John's
That's like Super Bowl square, or not squares, but those are like prop bets you get at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I kind of dig it. It's going to make watching this weekend a little bit more fun. If you hear any of those, by the way, tweet us immediately.
Did you say
at Fletch and Sammy?
Did you say it's going to be more fun because you don't think it's going to go well Saturday night for your boys?
Dude, all week I've been feeling pretty good about it. And today I got this knot in my stomach. I woke up with it, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I don't feel great right now. Yeah. We'll make our official picks coming up at 1:45. Coming up next, Steve Hartman, the legend himself, will be joining us like
the Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah, that was this week, wasn't it?
It was on Tuesday.
How about it? Steve Hartman, the Hall of Famer. He's going to be joining us on the other side at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by eBay. Aztecs back tomorrow night, taking on New Mexico, live from Viejas Arena at 5:00. Schaefer will get you on the call starting at 5. I will get you going pregame starting at 4. Of course, as always, hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. And star wide receiver Nico Collins has been ruled out for their game against New England over the weekend. Also, you can hear the Bears and Rams game live here on San Diego Sports 760 starting at 2:45 on Sunday. Imagine what you can find on eBay, like a rare hologram trading card that you become totally obsessed with, shiny like the designer handbag of your dreams. eBay has it. They even have the perfect parts that will fit your car. Millions of finds, each with a story. Find it at eBay.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer going to take over then. In just moments, we'll be joined by the Hall of Famer, Steve Hartman. And as the text line has pointed out from the 858, was Hartman elected to the Blue Chew Hall of Fame or something? No, he was elected to the Southern California Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Steve Hartman, one of the greatest to do it of all time. All right, play-by-play schedule coming up this weekend. Aztecs tomorrow night at Viejas Arena. They got New Mexico. Pre-game coverage gets going. Sammy's filling in for me at 4 o'clock. John Schaefer's going to have the tip just after 5 right here on your home of the Aztecs, San Diego Sports 760. And then on Sunday, Rams, Bears, 3:30 kickoff. You will hear that game here on San Diego Sports 760 as well. So we got a jam-packed schedule coming up over the next few days. 619 texting into the show saying Broncos have allowed one 100-yard rusher all year long. They have, and that is true. Cynthia Freeland had all the advanced statistics on it, and I saw her video last night talking about the fact that the Bills are uniquely capable of being able to take advantage of some of the issues that the Broncos have had in the run game this year. It's not just that they allowed only one 100-yard rusher all year, but they've allowed a lot of team rushing yards in every single game. With that being said, let's bring on to the show Steve Hartman, Southern California Radio Hall of Famer Steve Hartman. Hooray! Hi, Steve. Congratulations.
It was a great day, guys. It was a phenomenal day. And of course, what was unbelievable is that I had my dear friend Eric Dickerson as my presenter. He shows up wearing his gold Hall of Fame jacket. I'm like, I have never seen you wear this jacket. He goes, I thought, with your Hall of Fame day, I'd wear my gold jacket. So he gets up there. He's doing his presentation. He takes off his gold jacket and says, I want you to wear this right now. So I was able to do my speech in Eric Dickerson's Pro Football Hall of Fame gold jacket. It was unbelievable.
Well deserved, Steve. I mean this when I say you are the most talented broadcaster I've ever had the pleasure of working with. One of my favorite human beings on the planet. So congratulations. Well earned, well deserved. And I know it means a lot to you, pal. It means a lot to us as well. So thank you for everything you've done for us over the course of our careers and my career. And really my life with my wife, Kendall. We love you and appreciate you dearly and glad that was able to happen for you this year. The Hall of Famer, Steve Hartman, has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It's the best.
It does. It actually sounds good, Fletch. I appreciate that. And of course, Sammy's dad was there and Sonny Vaccaro was there. Sonny and his wife Pam drove 3 hours to be at this presentation. Sonny's doing great. So it was just great to see everybody out there.
You mean a lot to a lot of people. So congratulations, Steve. Now let's get in to what's coming up this weekend in the NFL. So last week we kind of went through all the wild card round games, and you were actually pretty close, Steve. I don't know if you remember your parlay. You only missed by 2 games. We will get your official picks for this week's game coming up in just a little bit. But let's start with the first game of the weekend. It's the Denver Broncos taking on the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, tons of pressure on Josh Allen, who this year has the advantage of not facing some of the foes who have knocked him out in postseasons of yesteryear. But Josh Allen against this Denver Broncos defense, how do you see this game going? How does Josh Allen have to perform in order to get the win over the Broncos?
Well, let's keep in mind, Buffalo just won their first road playoff game since 1992. Now, this was the 3rd year of their 4-year run, losing the Super Bowl in 92, and they won back-to-back road games that year to get to the Super Bowl. I love Buffalo in this game. I mean, I'll put it this way. Denver is one of those teams all year long. We're like, we're not quite sure about Denver, solid defense, everything else. But the pressure you talk about on Josh Allen, the pressure's on Bo Nix. Here's the bottom line on Josh Allen. He's 8-2 in playoff games now when he's not facing Patrick Mahomes. 8-2. I think that's going to be a huge advantage in this game. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to come down to the wire. And in a game that's going to be decided late, I'll put my money on Josh Allen before I put my money on Bo Nix. So I really think that Buffalo getting that first road playoff win of this playoff was just huge for this team. And, Denver, again, a younger team. You had a bye week. We've seen, number 1 seeds coming off a bye week, not perform well. I think Denver was going to struggle. I really like Buffalo in this game.
Steve, it is truly an honor to get to talk to the Hall of Famer. Just like everything Fletch said, completely echo all of it. You're the greatest, dude. Looking at the Seahawks Niners, and I know Fletch can't ask you a question that's non-biased about this game. Are you worried about Darnold with the oblique injury, or do you think this is going to be an easy walk in the park for Seattle?
I don't think it's going to be an easy walk because, again, you got 2 teams that have already faced each other a couple of years, but losing Kittle was brutal for San Francisco. I mean, it's just been one injury after another, and now you lose Kittle. McCaffrey was able to get in the end zone a couple of times this past week, but he didn't put up some really big numbers. It wasn't a great game for Brock Purdy. Unless Sam Darnold has a complete, and I mean a complete meltdown in this game, I've got to favor the Seahawks here. And again, it's. I think these are 2 very evenly matched teams when they are both healthy. But the 49ers are just not. I mean, they're just too many missing pieces right now. So, yeah, I think that the oblique injury, I think Seattle's really trying to play it up. But really, when you look at the Seahawks attack, it's about that run game. The two-headed monster. They're going to grind, and then obviously Smith and Jigba. He's going to make some big catches in this game. So, like I said, unless Darnold just has one of those 3 or 4 interception games, which, by the way, he's certainly capable of doing, but only seems to happen against the Rams. I'm going to have to lean again. I think this is going to be a very close game. But at Seattle at home, that crowd's going to be absolutely freaking bonkers. And with the 49ers banged up, I have to favor the Seahawks here.
Do you see what Seattle had to do, Steve? The Seattle Brass, they had to send a letter to their season ticket holders saying, stop selling your tickets to 49er fans or else you will be dropped from next year's season ticket holder. They are scared, Steve. They're terrified of what the San Francisco 49ers are going to do.
Look, I'm not, like I said, I'm not all in. Like the only reason, if Kittle was healthy in this game, but obviously the Rams are rooting like hell for the 49ers. They would potentially host the NFC Championship game just like they did a few years ago as a 4 seed and beat the Niners to get to the Super Bowl. But again, Kittle's such a big part of this offense. And with the wide receiver core down to the bare minimum right now, I just don't see where the 49ers against that Seattle defense, how are they going to throw the ball?
No, you're probably
throwing the ball.
You're probably right, Steve. I'm giving you a little bit of a hard time, but let's talk about the philosophy for both the Broncos and the Seahawks, because neither of them have an easy matchup this weekend. I think we can agree with that.
Right.
They're both the 1 seed coming off the bye. Could you make the argument with that the quarterbacks they have with Bo Nix and Sam Darnold, would you not have rather played last week? Because both of these guys have just had a week to sit on the fact that they're the 1 seed. They've had a week to sit.
I am not a fan of bye weeks. I said this for college football. Indiana's the only team that obviously is oblivious to this. But, as far as bye weeks, I don't think they do anybody a favor. They just don't. You say, well, we're going to get healthy. No, you sit. You get complacent. What are you worried about your health? You've survived 17 games over 18 weeks, and you're worried about your health when every game's a do-or-die situation? You get off to a really bad start in these games. Look, guys, before these playoffs begin, we get to this final 8. There are 2 quarterbacks that stand out, Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen. What are we talking about on the AFC side? C.J. Stroud, Bo Nix, Drake May. You don't think Josh Allen has an advantage there? Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams. You don't think Matthew Stafford has an advantage there? So, look, you get to this point of the season, I'm going with quarterbacks that have been there, done that, have the experience, have the postseason experience, know what this kind of pressure is all about, and that's why I ride those quarterbacks.
So if you're going with experience, are you taking Stroud over Drake May? Like, do you think this is a big game for Drake May to CJ Stroud to really kind of prove his worth in the AFC?
Well, first of all, I agree. Look, we all know about Houston's defense. New England had the easiest schedule of any NFL team since the 1999 Rams, who, by the way, did go on to win a Super Bowl that year. But this was strength of schedule was the easiest of any NFL team since 1999 Rams. So, the idea of New England playing this defense, the best defense in the NFL, but that being said, week in and week out, we see C.J. Stroud make bonehead plays that somehow keep the opponents in these games. So that's a huge X factor going into this matchup between the Texans and the Patriots. I think the Texans are the better team because they have a far more dominant defense. The Patriots have done an incredible job with honestly limited offensive resources to get to this point. And Drake May is one of these quarterbacks that if he does make a mistake, it doesn't fester. That is not the case with C.J. Stroud. In fact, the fact that Houston has gotten to the Elite Eight 3 straight years with C.J. Stroud, in spite of C.J. Stroud, he is their X factor. He's got to stop screwing up. But I'm sure that they got him by the neck. If you throw passes like you did, where they were in the red zone, and what are you doing? Why are you throwing that pass? You can't do that on the road against New England. But I'm going to lean to the Texans in this game because that defense is one for the ages. They're going to put so much pressure on Drake May. And by the way, Drake May did not play a great game against the Chargers, especially when he was under pressure. So the Texans defense is so much next level from where the Chargers were. I love Houston in that game.
If you got 4 fumbles against New England, it's probably not going to go so well, even if you only lose 2 of them. All right, Steve, before we get to your money line parlay for the divisional round, just your thoughts on Kyle Tucker. So the Dodgers now have 8 players, 8, almost a full starting 9 of $100 million contracts. Kyle Tucker goes to the team. Look, I made it clear earlier my thoughts on, I don't blame the Dodgers for this. They're taking advantage of a broken system in baseball. But is this the straw that breaks the camel's back for 2027? Are we going to have a baseball season?
No. This is it. I mean, and you know who knows that better than anyone else? The Dodgers. They're not worried about paying, Kyle Tucker 40 million, 60 million, whatever they're paying this guy, 57 million a year. So, look, they're not worried about that. They know that this is going to go off the cliff, and they're going to take full advantage of it. As far as Kyle Tucker is concerned, look, he had 4 really good years with Houston. The last year in 24, obviously he was hurt part of the year, but he had really his best numbers that year. And then last year where the Cubs got off to a great start, started the All-Star game, and then got hurt and then fell off the cliff the second half of the year. He's obviously a really good player. There's no spin on it. The guy's shown he's a really, really good player, and he's heading into the prime of his career. But his prime is going to be interrupted. There will be no baseball, guys, in 2027.
Oof. All right,
0.
Steve, let's do it.
There will be no baseball in 2027. By the way, guys, is it true that they're trying to unload the Padres and move to Portland? What is going on with this rumor right now?
So you read the Forbes
Padres
article.
moving to Portland. Come on now.
Yeah, that Forbes article kind of shook us all to our core a little bit, if I'm being honest. There's some out in the lease with Petco Park in the city that's coming up that needs to be avoided. And with the Padres potentially selling the team, it could be exploited.
Yeah, let's move to rainy Portland. Like, who wants to live in Portland?
I also saw Oakland as a potential opportunity. The last team in Oakland didn't fare so well. All right, Steve, let's thank you for bringing that up, by the way, Steve. Let's get to your money line.
I had to get it from the guys that know best. I want to know what's going on.
Let's get to your money line parlay of the week. All right, we'll start with the Broncos versus the Bills. Broncos are now 1.5-point favorites. The line has flipped into Denver's favor. Which way are you going?
I'm going with the Bills. Bills will win that game straight up.
Steve, Seattle favored by 7.5 against Niners. Where are you going?
Is that 7.5 now?
It's at 7.
It's at 7. I'll take the Niners and the points. I think it'll be a close game. I like Seattle to win, but I think the 49ers cover.
Okay. Texans +3 at the Patriots.
Again, I think the Houston wins this game straight up. So I love the Texans in that matchup.
Rams 3-point favorites in Chicago.
Well, again, Caleb Williams has pulled a lot of miracles. This will not be one of them. The Rams have not played well as of late. We saw what happened in this last playoff game against Carolina. Obviously, they didn't come close to covering. Ram blowout.
Whose
and you
house?
say, whoa,
Rams house.
Rams, LA team on the road in frigid Chicago. Yeah, you have a quarterback that played in that division forever. Rams blow out the Bears in Chicago.
Not to mention Devontae Adams, who has some amazing games with Aaron Rodgers in the snow. All right, Steve, I actually don't hate your picks. I kind of like them a lot this week. We'll see if I put a little $40 down on that. Maybe we all go get a steak dinner together. That sounds like a good idea to me. Steve Hartman, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, pal, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. That's very, very cool. And we will see you very soon.
Guys, I absolutely love you. You both have been a part of this quote unquote Hall of Fame career. I want to say thank you for everything you have helped me through during these many years and keeping my voice on the air in the city of San Diego. Don't lose the Padres. Listen to me, Seidler family. Peter had a dream. I sat down with Peter. Don't crush his dream. He wanted to bring a World Series championship to the city of San Diego. Let it happen.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Amen.
Well done, Steve. We'll talk to you soon, pal.
All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Steve Hartman right there. But we'll get to the Padres thing next week. I promise you that. It's San Diego Sports 760. Mine and Sammy's official picks coming up next, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer coming up next. Sammy, I see the computer set up in here. Are you sticking around with John for a little bit?
I am hanging out with John for an hour.
Love it. So Annie Heilbrunn yesterday, you today. I mean, I know who I'd take. Sammy all day. Yeah. It was funny.
Shout out to Annie.
The first 15 minutes of the show yesterday that John did with Annie Heilbrunn was just making fun of Jim, which I kind of loved. I'm like, the dude
was fantastic.
The dude's dead. He's gone. And you're just still making fun of him the whole time.
I love seeing Jim's Twitter. Jim's Twitter is still popping off, just left and right.
Yeah, and of course he quote tweeted the Barry Bloom report, which Steve just referenced, the Forbes report that literally I felt like it was pretty clickbaity. I don't know how many people read it. It's not like there was much stuff of substance in the Forbes article.
Right.
It was just saying, hey, if this guy, Joe Lacob, buys the Padres, which is a big if, he may have an opt-out in a few years to maybe move the team out of San Diego.
My thing, though, even Lacob, he owns the Warriors. Moving a team to Portland, does it...
Portland?
First off, as someone who lived in Seattle for 3 years, Seattle, Portland, and San Fran all have a competitive rivalry with each other. That doesn't make any sense to me why you would bring it out of America's greatest city.
If it had enough in it to where I was like, oh, crap, this could happen, we would have already talked about it this week. Because I sent you that article, what day? 2 days ago?
Right. It's not like San Diego has a terrible ballpark and no one's
they
going.
Have one of the best ballparks in the country.
Right. You're going to move. The MLB All-Star game should be here every damn year. I mean, it's a dumb article. It's dumb.
Well, Sammy, let's get to our picks for this weekend.
Are we doing a parlay together or are we going different picks?
I mean, I literally just built a parlay in one of those apps.
Okay, well,
the legal ones in California, by the way. This one's Kalshi. I don't know what you guys use, but you can buy contracts on it.
We have ways,
which is pretty nice.
Yeah, you're trading. You're not betting. You're trading.
Bet? Who said that word?
I did a hit on Kogo at 6 a.m. this morning about illegal gambling.
Did you really?
I did. And I was like, I will also be gambling. Tune in at 12:45 for long shots.
All right. So here's how it's looking. Let's start at the top. Buffalo at Denver, the latest point spread on this one, at least according to my platform.
The Broncos flip back to favorites.
Denver is now favored by 2.5 points, which is crazy the way this thing has shifted over the last 24 hours.
I would take the Bills. I think it's a really hard fought game. If you're giving the Bills points, certainly, I think I take them on the money line, but certainly getting 2.5 points.
All right. The next one. So I am taking the Bills in this game. Are you also taking the Bills? I am
taking the Bills.
Bills plus 2.5 feels like an easy win. San Francisco at Seattle. Now this one, the line has moved even closer towards the Niners. It is just literally within the last 5 seconds switched to Seattle minus 6.5.
All right, then I would go Seattle.
See, I'm taking the Niners there. So what do we do now? Are you building your own parlay?
Well, I can build my own. That's fine.
Okay, so let's just screenshot each other's parlays and then we'll compare notes on Tuesday. How about that?
Yep.
I'm taking the Niners there. Houston at New England. This is now New England favored by 3.5. I am taking the Patriots.
Really? I thought you were going Houston.
I've been flip-flopping a lot on that game in specific.
I like Houston money line, but Houston's defense will keep it close. 3.5 points. Give me Houston plus 3.5.
Okay. We're going different here then. Rams at Chicago. This has Rams now favored by 3.5 after they were favored by 4.5 earlier in the week.
As much as everyone who's watched this show knows how much I've been supportive of my guy Caleb Williams and the Bears, and it's been a magical season, I think they get blasted in this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm tempted to take the Bears. I really am, because they are the cardiac Bears. It feels like a little bit of team of destiny on their side. And they've had these moments this season where it's like all hope is lost. None more so than 21-3 against the Packers. And they find ways to come back.
I just feel like everyone's forgotten how good the Rams are.
And Sean McVay's too good a head coach. And do you see the news today? Rams got their entire offensive line back for this game.
Yeah, I feel like this is the Rams day.
I think so too.
Lori said, have a great weekend. Go Rams. Lori used to be pulling for her Rams on Sunday.
Man, two of those lines updated during this segment.
Yeah, they keep going back and forth because it's a tough weekend to predict. It really is.
All right, well, my cash is in, and hopefully this hits, because if it is Rams 49ers the next week in SoFi, I already have a commitment from like 4 of my buddies. We're buying tickets and we're going. It's gonna be like $1,500.
Happy birthday to Kendall Fletcher.
Happy birthday to Kendall Fletcher. Go say hi to Sammy tomorrow at Viejas Arena. He's gonna give away a signed Brian Dutcher basketball. I will be back with you on Tuesday. I love you all very dearly. Thank you for being here. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. Have a fun divisional weekend, San Diego. Bye.